Before we had dollars and cents, people had a problem. Imagine you're a farmer with a lot of wheat. You need a new pair of sandals. The sandal maker doesn't need wheat. He needs a new clay pot. So you have to find a potter who needs wheat, trade for a pot, then take that pot to the sandal maker. It was complicated and took a lot of time. This system, called bartering, worked, but it wasn't very efficient. People needed a better way to trade for the things they needed and wanted. They needed something everyone agreed had value, something small and easy to carry. That was the big idea that changed everything. The first real solution came from a kingdom called Lydia. It's in modern-day Turkey. Around 600 BC, the Lydians started using lumps of a natural metal mix called electrum. This was a blend of gold and silver that they found in their rivers. These weren't perfect round coins like we see today. They were more like small stamped nuggets of metal. The government would stamp them with a symbol, often a lion's head, to guarantee their weight and purity. This was a huge step forward. Suddenly you didn't have to haul your goods to the market. You could carry value right in your pocket. This idea caught on fast. It spread from Lydia to the Greek city-states. Each city started making its own coins. They used silver, bronze, and sometimes gold. The designs became more complex. Instead of just a simple punch mark, they started putting images of their gods and goddesses on the coins. An Athenian coin might have the goddess Athena on one side and her owl on the other. These weren't just pieces of money anymore. They were symbols of a city's power, its faith, and its identity. They were like little metal billboards that traveled all over the ancient world. Think about what that meant for the average person. For the first time, there was a universal way to handle transactions. A soldier could be paid in coins and use that money anywhere in the kingdom. A merchant could sell his olive oil in one port and use the coins he earned to buy spices in another. It made trade smoother and helped empires grow bigger and faster. The invention of the coin wasn't just about money. It was about creating a system of trust and a tool for building civilizations. And it all started with a simple stamped piece of metal. After the Greeks perfected the art of the coin, the Romans took it to a whole new level. The Roman Empire was massive, and they needed a way to pay their soldiers, run their government, and keep their economy moving. Coins were the answer. They mass-produced them in mints all across the empire. Roman coins were incredible tools for propaganda. The emperor would put his own face on the coins. Every time someone used a denarius, they were looking at the face of the man in charge. It was a powerful reminder of who held the power, from Britain to Egypt. As empires rose and fell, so did their coinage. When Rome collapsed, the sophisticated system of mints fell apart. For a while, in the Dark Ages, coinage in Europe became cruder and less consistent. But the idea never went away. Kings and feudal lords continued to mint their own coins to show their authority and fund their armies. The designs changed, reflecting the new powers in charge. Christian symbols started replacing Roman gods. The coins from this era tell a story of a world in transition, a time of chaos and the slow rebuilding of society. Every coin is a little piece of that history. The Renaissance brought back artistry and precision. New minting techniques were developed, allowing for more detailed and beautiful designs. Then came the age of exploration. Spanish galleons, loaded with silver from mines in Mexico and Peru, carried pieces of 8 all over the world. These large silver coins became the first truly global currency. They were so trusted that they were legal tender in the United States until 1857. Here in America, we even based our own dollar on the Spanish dollar. The history of money is all connected. Then, the Industrial Revolution changed the game completely. Steam-powered presses made it possible to mint thousands of coins per hour, all perfectly identical. This is when modern coinage as we know it really began. Countries established national mints like the US Mint in 1792. Coins became standardized, with fixed values and designs that represented the nation. But this mass production also created a new kind of rarity. A small mistake, a change in design, or a limited run could make a specific year's coin incredibly scarce just a few decades later. And that's where the story gets interesting for collectors. So, what separates a coin worth a few bucks from one worth a million? It comes down to three main things: rarity, condition, and story. Rarity is the easiest one to understand. How many of them are there? If the mint only made a handful of a certain coin, or if most of them were melted down or lost, the few that are left become incredibly valuable. It's simple supply and demand. Think about the 1933 St. Gaudens double eagle. The government ordered almost all of them to be melted down. The very few that survived are now legendary. Next up is condition, or what we in the business call grade. A coin that looks like it just came from the mint yesterday is going to be worth a lot more than the same coin that's been rattling around in someone's pocket for 50 years. We look at the tiny details. Can you still see the fine lines in the hair? Are the letters sharp and clear? Is the original mint luster still there? A small scratch or a little bit of wear can be the difference between a $1,000 coin and a $100,000 coin. That's why professional grading services are so important. They give a coin a score, usually from 1 to 70, so everyone knows exactly what they're dealing with. But the real magic, the thing that gets collectors really excited, is the story. Every great coin has a great story. Why was it made? Why is it so rare? Who owned it? Take the 1804 draped bust dollar. They call it the king of American coins. The funny thing is, they weren't even minted in 1804. They were struck in the 1830s as special gifts for foreign rulers. Only a few were ever made, and their history is full of mystery and intrigue. The story adds a level of romance and importance that you just can't put a price on. Or can you? One of them sold for over $7 million. When you put these three things together, extreme rarity, perfect condition, and a killer backstory, you get a record-breaking coin. It's the perfect storm. A coin might be rare, but if it's in terrible shape, its value is limited. A coin might be in perfect condition, but if they made 500 million of them, it's not going to be worth much. But when you find that one coin that has it all, that's when you see the headlines. That's when a little piece of metal becomes one of the most valuable objects on the planet. I've seen a lot of crazy things walk through the door of my shop. But some days, you just can't predict what's going to happen. You get people bringing in everything from old guitars to family heirlooms. Most of the time, the coins people bring in are pretty common. They might have a jar of old wheat pennies or some silver quarters their grandpa gave them. They have value, sure, but it's usually just the value of the silver or a few bucks for the collection. You learn to manage your expectations. You look at every item with a professional eye, but you don't expect every coin to be a jackpot. But then, there are the days you never forget. A while back, a guy came in with a single gold coin. It wasn't in a fancy case, just a little plastic flip. He said he found it in an old desk he inherited from his grandfather. He thought it might be worth a little something because it was gold. I took a look and my heart started beating a little faster. It was a 1915 pan-pack octagonal $50 gold piece. These weren't meant for circulation. They were made for the Panama Pacific International Exposition in San Francisco. They are big, they are beautiful, and they are incredibly rare. The guy had no idea what he was holding. To him, it was just a cool-looking, oversized gold coin. To me, it was a piece of American history. They only minted 645 of these octagonal $50 slugs. Many were probably melted down over the years. Finding one in any condition is a big deal. The one he had was in fantastic shape. It had a few minor marks, but the details were sharp. I had to keep my cool. In this business, you can't let your excitement show right away. I had to do my due diligence, check my references, and make sure everything was right. After I authenticated the coin, I had to explain to the guy what he really had. I told him the story of the Pan-Pac Exposition and why these coins were created. I showed him auction records for similar coins. His eyes got wider and wider. The coin he thought might be worth a couple $1,000s was actually worth tens of thousands. We eventually made a deal that he was very happy with, and I was happy to have a true piece of numismatic art in my shop. It's moments like that that make this job the best in the world. You just never know when treasure is going to walk through your door. When someone brings a coin to my counter, my brain starts working like a computer. I'm running through a mental checklist in seconds. The first thing I always look for is the mint mark. This is a tiny letter on the coin that tells you where it was made. For US coins, a D could mean Denver, an S means San Francisco, and a P is Philadelphia. This is incredibly important. A 1909 penny from Philadelphia is common, but a 1909 penny with a little S under the date and the initials VDB on the back, that's a key date, one of the most famous rare coins in America. The location of the mint can change the value by 1,000 times or more. The next secret is to look for errors. The US Mint is pretty good at its job, but nobody's perfect. Sometimes mistakes happen, and those mistakes can be worth a fortune. We look for things like a doubled die, where the coin was struck twice, making the letters and numbers look blurry or doubled. The 1955 doubled die Lincoln cent is the most famous example, or maybe the wrong planche or blank coin was used. For example, a dime struck on a penny's copper planche. These errors are rare because they're not supposed to exist, and collectors go nuts for them. They are the freaks of the coin world, and that makes them valuable. Another thing I always do is look at the rim of the coin. A lot of amateurs don't think to check it. I'm looking for a few things. First, has it been mounted in jewelry? If you see solder marks or heavy scratches on the rim, that damages the coin and lowers its value significantly. I'm also looking for something called a reeded edge. On dimes, quarters, and dollars, you'll see those little vertical lines. On pennies and nickels, the edge is smooth. If you find a coin that's supposed to have a reeded edge but doesn't, or vice versa, you might have a very rare transitional error. It's a small detail that can mean big money. Finally, the biggest secret is to know what you're looking at. You have to do your homework. I have a whole library of reference books in my office for a reason. You need to know the key dates, the rare varieties, and the common fakes. Counterfeit coins are a huge problem, especially with rare gold coins. I use a scale to check the weight, a caliper to check the dimensions, and a loupe to check the fine details. If something feels off, it probably is. There's honestly no substitute for knowledge and experience. That's the real secret. You have to know more than the other guy. It's a fair question. Why would anyone pay $7 or $8 million for a single coin? I mean, it's just a small piece of metal, right? You can't live in it, you can't drive it, and you sure can't eat it. To really understand the answer, you've got to get inside the mind of a serious collector. It's not just about the money. For these folks, it's about owning a piece of history. It's about possessing something that is truly the absolute best of its kind. It's honestly the same impulse that drives someone to buy a rare painting by Picasso or a one-of-a-kind classic car. It's the thrill of the hunt and, honestly, the pride of ownership. For a lot of these high-end collectors, it's about completing a set. Imagine spending decades trying to collect every single US coin ever made in the best possible condition. You have almost all of them, but there's one empty spot in your collection. The $1804 or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel. When one of those 5 nickels comes up for auction, what is it worth to you to finally complete your life's work? To that person, the price is almost secondary. It's about achieving a goal that very few people in the world ever can. It's the ultimate trophy. There's also the investment angle. While some people collect for pure passion, others see these ultra-rare coins as a solid investment. Unlike stocks or bonds, a one-of-a-kind coin is a tangible asset. There's only one of it. The market for these top-tier items is small, but it's made up of very wealthy individuals. They see it as a way to diversify their portfolio and store wealth in something that is not only beautiful and historic, but has a long track record of increasing in value. Over the last 50 years, the market for rare coins has outperformed many other types of investments. And let's be honest, there's a certain amount of ego involved. Being the person who owns the 1794 flowing hair dollar that sold for over $10 million makes you a legend in the collecting world. It gives you bragging rights. You get your name in the history books, right alongside the coin's famous previous owners. It's about being part of the coin's story, its provenance. You become the next chapter. So when you combine the passion for history, the drive to complete a collection, the potential for a great return on investment, and yeah, a little bit of ego, you get the formula for $1 million coin. Every old coin you hold in your hand has a story. It's a silent witness to history. Just think about a Roman denarius. An emperor whose name we now read in history books might have held that very coin. A Roman legionary might have used it to buy a drink after a long march. It might have been buried for 1,000 years before a farmer's plow uncovered it. It's a direct, physical link to a world that's long gone. You can't get that from a history book. Holding that coin is like shaking hands with the past. It makes history real. Here in America, our coins tell the story of our nation. The first coins made by the U.S. Mint in 1792 were a powerful statement. We were a new country, and we were making our own money, independent of England. The designs they chose, Lady Liberty, the bald eagle, were symbols of our new ideals of freedom and strength. When you look at a Morgan silver dollar from the 1880s, you can almost feel the spirit of the Old West. That silver was dug out of the ground in places like Nevada, minted in Carson City, and spent in saloons and general stores across the frontier. Sometimes a coin tells a very specific, dramatic story. During the Civil War, both the Union and the Confederacy had money problems. The Confederacy printed paper money that quickly became worthless. The Union saw people hoarding gold and silver coins, so they started making fractional currency, which were basically tiny paper bills for amounts like 10 cents or 25 cents. People also used encased postage stamps as makeshift change. The money from that period tells a story of a nation in crisis, trying to hold its economy together while it was tearing itself apart. Even the mistakes on coins tell a story. The 1937 D three-legged buffalo nickel is a perfect example. A mint worker tried to fix a damaged die and accidentally polished off one of the buffalo's legs. The result is a famous and valuable error coin. It tells a human story about a regular guy at the Denver Mint who made a mistake on a Tuesday afternoon, and in doing so created a collectible treasure. That's what I love about this business. It's not just about metal and money, it's about the people, the places, and the stories that connect us to our past. So, you want to find $1 million coin? Well, it's not likely to happen, but finding valuable coins worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars is something anyone can do. The first and most important tip is to look at your own pocket change. Seriously. People find valuable error coins and rare varieties in circulation all the time. Get a magnifying glass and learn what to look for. Check for doubled dies, off-center strikes, or rare mint marks. It's like a treasure hunt every time you get change back from the store. Most of what you find will be normal, but you never know. Another great place to look is in old family collections. Almost every family has a jar, a can, or a shoebox where grandpa or grandma toss their old coins. Don't just assume it's junk. Go through it carefully. Most of it might just be face value, but you could find old silver coins. Dimes, quarters, and half dollars made before 1965 are 90% silver. You might find a key date wheat penny or a buffalo nickel. Don't clean the coins. I can't say this enough. Cleaning a coin with polish or a brush can destroy its surface and most of its collector value. Leave the dirt on. If you want to get more serious, start visiting flea markets, garage sales, and antique shops. A lot of times, people sell old coins without knowing what they have. This is where knowledge is power. Get a good reference book, like the Red Book, which is a guidebook of United States coins. It lists every U.S. coin and gives you a general idea of its value. If you know that a 1916D Mercury dime is a major rarity, you might be able to spot one in a dealer's junk box priced at $1. It happens more often than you think. You have to be patient and keep your eyes open. Finally, build a relationship with people in the business. Go to coin shows, talk to dealers, Visit your local pawn shop or coin shop. We see tons of coins every day. Sometimes we have stuff that's interesting but maybe not high-end enough for our main inventory. We might have junk silver bins or boxes of world coins you can look through. The more you learn and the more people you talk to, the better you'll get at spotting a diamond in the rough. The treasure is out there. You just have to be willing to look for it. At the end of the day, a coin is more than just currency. It's a time capsule you can hold in the palm of your hand. It's a piece of art, a marker of history, and a symbol of human ingenuity. From the first stamped lumps of electrum in ancient Lydia to the complex-clad coins we use today, money tells the story of our world. It shows us how empires grew, how art and technology evolved, and how ideas of value and identity have changed over thousands of years. That's a powerful thing for such a small object to carry. In my shop, I see people's connection to these objects every day. Someone brings in a coin their father carried in World War II. Someone else finds a silver dollar their great-grandmother received as a wedding gift. These coins have a personal history on top of their public one. They connect families through generations. And while the big money sales of million-dollar coins get all the headlines, this personal connection is a type of value that you just can't put a price on. It's the reason we keep things and pass them down. The hunt for rare coins will never end. As long as there are collectors who appreciate history and rarity, there will be a market for these little metal treasures. And there will always be stories of amazing finds. Someone will buy a house and find a can of gold coins in the wall. Someone will go through their inheritance and discover a coin their family never knew was valuable. The thrill of discovery is a huge part of what makes this field so exciting. It's the idea that history's treasures aren't all in museums. Some of them are still out there, waiting to be found. So, the next time you get some change, take a second to really look at it. Look at the date, the design, the mint mark. Think about where it's been and the hands it has passed through. It might just be a common penny, but it might be something more. It might be a rare error, a key date, or the beginning of a new hobby. Every coin has a story, and its value isn't just measured in dollars and cents. It's measured in the history it holds. And in my book, you can't put a price on that.